about to rejoin a friend of ours from the football season we haven't seen in a couple of weeks, almost a couple of months, I should say. Brian Kelly, the head coach of the LSU Tigers. Coach, I won't ask you what you've been doing. I know it's a busy time, but we're glad to have you back.
Oh, vacationing, on the couch, this job is, just part-time. We don't do anything. No, it's been crazy. I mean, we got a little bit of time after the signing day to kind of get a deep breath, but now it's time to spend with your players on campus. And sometimes, you get so caught up in all this recruiting, Paul, you forget about the guys that are going to make the biggest impact, and those are the guys on campus.
Coach, not to go yesteryear, but going back maybe to an earlier part of your career. Usually, when the season ended, you had recruiting until February, but there at least was a pause for a second, wasn't there?
There was a longer pause where you could kind of get yourself back into it from an organizational standpoint, but it rolls right into the development. And when you're putting your staff together, and you've got so many moving pieces today, because you've got so many different organizational pieces that are involved now with your football program, that you're the steward of it, and you can't be the absent professor. You've got to be hands-on, and you've got to be around. So and I love it. I mean, I'm not complaining, but it just requires your attention every single day.
I know a lot of things have been going on. First of all, you won 10 games. I know that was really important. You had an outstanding recruiting. You're already recruiting great for next year, and you've had some coaching changes as well. That's a lot to digest there, but how do you feel about where you are right now as we're about to embark on another spring?
Yeah, so going into year three, I think more than anything else, I feel really comfortable with the standards and the way things are being done on a day-to-day basis. You can feel it in the building. The players understand the expectations, and clearly we need to take another step up. 10 wins is really, I think, the price of admission where we need to be, but we need to take that next step up here. And so I'm happy that we've stabilized the program, put it back in a position where it needs to be now. It's taken that next step. Along the way, we had to make some changes because we weren't living up to the standards that we need to on a defensive side of the ball. So we've made some major changes on that side. Blake Baker coming in to coordinate the defense. I'm excited about the vision that we have there and his ability to engage our players. So, with continuity comes some change, Paul, and I like the combination of both, and excited about year three.
A lot of things are happening around college football, and I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about something that happened 4 or 5 weeks ago that I know in some ways it was one of the motivational factors for you to take the job. We're talking about Nick Saban, who many, if not all, agree is the greatest coach of all time. You had the chance to meet him before, and you beat him your first year at LSU. I know everyone's happy for him, sad to see him go, but deep down as a coach, what were your thoughts when you heard that news?
First of all, I was surprised. We were on a Zoom call the day that he made the announcement, and it was business as usual. But that's Nick, right? I mean, never is he a guy that is going to, take the easy way. I mean, he's going to work right up to the last second. So there was no indication. There was no, hey, I'm thinking about it. I mean, he probably walked in and just made his mind up and said, I'm moving on. But was surprised at first, but clearly understand. He's look, as you mentioned, he is the standard of what everybody is trying to achieve, and that is incredible consistency at the highest level, championships. He's done it with class and distinction, and it's set the bar. And so now he's got a golf game to work on, and I'm sure he's going to work on it every single day. But we have somebody with such great knowledge that I know he wants to give it back as well. And I read his comments a couple of days ago or yesterday about he's going to use this as an opportunity to do the best he can because he loves the student athlete, the college student athlete, and I think that's going to be great for college football.
And on that subject, because there is, he mentioned that he would like to contribute something meaningful. there, I don't know what that is right now with all the chaos going on in college sports, but certainly he has the experience. We just got through watching the CFP meet and agree, at least short term, to this 5-7 model. It opens up some more opportunities. I know that's meaningful to coaches who are trying to get into the playoffs. You understand it, but what are your thoughts on where college football is right now?
Well, I think we're going to get into a phase here where it's going to be untarnished truths. I mean, I think it's going to be, here's the reality of where we're at. I don't think there's going to be any card that's not turned over, if that makes any sense. I think we're at a point where even with we're talking about comments from Nick. Nick is going to be very transparent in whatever he talks about. There's no more politics involved here. This is about, here's where the game is, and this is where it needs to go. And all things are going to be on the table for discussion. And I think it's going to be what's best for those teams and those conferences that are intricately involved in what's happening. So I think that's what you're going to see over the next few months.
It's interesting. The commissioner of the ACC, a league that in your former job you had an affiliation with, of course, was concerned about expanding the playoff to 12 because you could ultimately, or if you're in the first round, go to 17 games. You understand player safety better than anyone. How concerned should we be about what we're about to get into?
Well, I think with technology today, I think with the resources that you have today, you're going to have to understand that 17 is a long season, but it's certainly doable. I think we all have the facilities to do it. Those that can't do it are not going to be part of this. And that's kind of what I was saying. And I don't want to come across as crass, but you're going to have to step up to this level if you want to play, for a national championship, because that's what's demanded by the TV contracts. That's what's demanded by everybody that wants to see college football at this level. So we have the resources necessary to protect our players and to put them in a good position to succeed over a longer schedule. We've got to be smart, but we've got the resources. We've got the coaching staff. We've got the support staff to do it, but we've got to be very smart about it.
And there's an entertainment side to this, and as we look at the LSU schedule for the upcoming season, I see a couple of games that starting with Southern Cal in Vegas. I mean, you played on that first weekend on that Sunday night a couple of times down in New Orleans and in Florida. But talk about a marquee game. Southern Cal's first year in the Big Ten, and it's a rivalry that we haven't seen a lot of Southern Cal LSU games, but there have been a few going back to the 70s and elsewhere. But what are your thoughts, in addition to Alabama and going to Florida, road trips at A&M? By the way, UCLA in a couple weeks after that as well. I mean, and South Alabama, which upset a number of big teams last year. This is quite a schedule, Coach.
It's awesome, right? I mean, this is what college football is about. This is why I came to LSU, is to play this kind of schedule. The only thing I need to do is need to do a better job on Sunday nights. We got beat the last two Sunday nights, so we're going to practice just on Sunday nights. But it's an exciting schedule. I mean, Lincoln Riley's done a great job of bringing in great defensive coaches. They're going to have a really good football team. They're kind of going through what we did defensively in terms of retooling that defense. They're going to just restock on offense. They're going to be obviously very good there. So it should be an exciting opener. We're excited about the schedule. It's going to be a difficult schedule, but one where, certainly you navigate that schedule, you put yourself in a great position for, there's 12 teams in the playoffs. And so we figured that if this kind of schedule, you play well, you got a great chance of being in the playoffs.
Coach, I've asked you a lot of sometimes difficult questions after big wins or tough losses, but this one I'm not sure I'm really qualified to. We're going to show something here on the screen. This is Coach Kelly, and I think this is a bald eagle, although I'm really not that sure. What's going on here?
Yeah, so I'm releasing a bald eagle that was injured, and our vet school, nursed it back to health. They do a great job, obviously, in terms of their interaction with wildlife throughout the state of Louisiana. My daughter happens to be a graduate assistant there, and she's actually taking the picture in the background here. But look, it started with Kim Mulkey doing it, and if Mulkey does it, I have to do it. I mean, because she sets the trend around here. And I can't wear a purple sequence jacket, so I figured if I let a bald eagle go, I'd be in the same club as she was.
I'm sure some of your critics will say that the bald eagle is in the transfer portal, but we're not going to go
Yeah,
that
no
way.
doubt. I'm sure they played with that a lot, and there's no doubt about it.
Well, you talk about other sports at LSU. You got the defending women's and baseball. Your basketball team knocked off Kentucky last night, and Angel was the first one on the court. So it's been quite a couple of weeks in Baton Rouge. Coach, what's next for you?
Well, I mean, to me, as I said, this part of the season now is really critical for us because we get a chance to know our players and the players on campus. We get so caught up with the 25 class or the 26 class. Our guys on campus are important and they need to see us, and we need to be visible with them and spend time with our players that are here on campus. So right now through February, March, and April, this is our chance to really engage and build relationships with the players on our football team that are going to be important in playing USC and playing that schedule you just put up in front of you. So the next 3 months, spending a lot of time with our football team.
Well, we look forward to staying in touch and seeing you very soon. Coach, many thanks. Great to be reunited.
Good to be back on the show. Thanks, Paul.
Thank you. Brian Kelly joining us from Baton Rouge.